Every song tells a story. Have you ever wondered how your favorite tune got on the radio? Behind the Song explains the growth of newly releasing songs, from imagination to pen and paper to the microphone. So turn it up some and learn about the story each song wants to tell you. Hey everyone, welcome to Behind the Song. I am your host Elizabeth Miller, and today we're going to talk about the not so true story behind one of my original songs, Jesus on a Barstool. Now, I say not so true because the setting is true, the story not so much. But before we get in too far and spoil the surprise ending, let's listen to what we're going to talk about. He's out on the bar stool where he spent every day. One more beer and one more shot to try to drown the pain away. The girl behind the bar set a glass of water down. She said that drink's gonna kill you. I need you around. He picked up the water, splashed it on his face. You're the only one who cares, he said, here or any place. That's where you're wrong, my friend, he said as he sat down. Don't act like you know me, 'cause I'm new in this town. Think your life was hopeless, there's nowhere you can go. But there are folks out there who love you more than you can know. You think there's nothing you can do to change the wrong you've done. But there's a church just down the street that's praying you'll come home. The man slid a piece of paper across the bar. The drunk got up, fell out the door, and stumbled to his car. The girl behind the counter picked up what he left. My grace is sufficient were the first words she read. The next day was like the others, back on his old stool. She slid a Bible across the bar in place of his old proof. Today's my last day, I had to come one more time. Daddy, that was Jesus on that bar stool last night. You think your life is worthless, there's nowhere you can go. But there are folks out there who love you more than you can know. You think there's nothing you can do to change the wrong you've done. But there's a church just down the street that's praying you'll come home. I took that job at the bar at the lowest time alive. But that Missouri God came to me on a stool late that night. Now you can try to pick and choose the way God saves our souls. And I learned late that night how God can make a sinner whole. Jesus on a bar stool made two sinners whole. Okay, so we see a pretty typical bar scene. Drunk comes in, bartender, who turns out to be the drunk's daughter, greets him. Stranger comes in, tells him that there's hope for his life. Stranger then leaves. Girl believes. Then drunk believes, and they never see the stranger again. Now, how much of this is true? 2 men and a girl at a bar. But this scene leads us to the takeaway of today. Content is everywhere. Be observant of your surroundings. Jonathan Swift once quoted, "The art of observation is to see what everyone else sees, but notice what no one else notices." We'll discuss this more deeply whenever we discuss the inspiration behind the lyrics, where the melody came from, and how the song is used today. So, of course, the most interesting thing is the inspiration behind the lyrics. Now, not long before I wrote this, Larry Fleet came out with his song, "Where I Find God," and there was just a couple of verses that caught my eye. One of them, the opening to verse 1, says, "The night I hit rock bottom, sitting on an old bar stool, he paid my tab and put me in a cab, but he didn't have to." And then switch to the chorus, "From a bar stool to a living room, that's where I find God." That song just rolled around in my head for months until one day I was sitting at a restaurant in Gulfport, Mississippi that had like a bar area in it, me and my mom were. And an old guy was the only person at this bar until a homeless man came in and sat with him. The young girl came and poured their drinks, and the three, even though they didn't know each other, sat in deep conversation. I don't know really where this plot for the song came from, except for God and, a little bit of that. But I do know it holds 3 of my favorite elements of a good song. A surprise ending, a chilling line that stays with the listener, and an open-ended plot line that lets the listener decide the ending. The bartender, being his daughter, is the surprise ending. "Now you can try to pick and choose the way God saves our souls," is the line, and the stranger is the open end. Is he really Jesus? Is he an angel? Or is he just a stranger? That's up to you. Most of the time, a melody is not one of the most interesting parts of a song, but this time, I can't talk about the song without talking about my co-writer, Tony Gross. Tony is a pianist who got put on the spot a little bit when Barstool was used as an example in a seminar on songwriting. He was the speaker's personal pianist, so when the speaker asked me to come up and talk about this song that I had told him about earlier today, he called for Tony to play it, even before there was a written melody. But Tony just grabbed it, though, and really turned it into something that people want to hear. But this whole part of the story goes back to my point. If you want to be successful, you gotta be observant of any opportunity around you to let your stuff be heard. So, the writer's biggest fear. How do I know what I have is worth something? Well, put it out there. See how people react to it. I wanted to take a theater scriptwriting class that I was in no way eligible for. I had not had any theater classes as I was a music tech person, and I had not taken the first class in the program. This was a 2-part class, and I wanted to come in part 2. But the teacher gave me a shot, told me to send in some of my stuff, so I sent in Barstool. And I guess she liked it because I got in with Barstool. A few months later, I was sitting in an engineer's chair in a studio trying to land a job. They asked me what I had as far as original things that I could use to help me get the job and help further their studio, so I pulled out Barstool. And I guess they liked it too because I got the job. So you're probably thinking, why am I telling you all this? You have to be watching for opportunities to present your work. Being observant applies to more than just watching your surroundings or watching for people that can help you. You have to know the value of your work, and that I know that's hard to do. But the best way to discover the value of your creation is to put it out there. Now, you are going to get shot down sometimes, and that's going to hurt. But the more you reveal, the more you're going to know your worth as a writer. Well, guys, now you know the story behind the song. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more stories and writer's tips. And be sure to come back next week when we discuss what makes a Christmas song a Christmas song. And as always, be observant of your surroundings and never stop writing your stories behind the songs. Acts like you know me, 'cause I'm doing this time.